Presenting, Catfished in the Virgin Islands Romance Scam Experience. Red flags. Recognize and acknowledge red flags, to avoid romance fraud.
Looking back on my military romance scam experience, I see several red flags, which could have steered me in a different direction, had I examined them more closely, and not rationalized past most of them.
The following are the red flags identified in Ava's romance fraud situation. 1. Receiving a random friend request from an unknown person.
It is said that curiosity kills. My curiosity about this attractive stranger got me into trouble, as I reached out and messaged him first. It is not wise to accept friend requests from random strangers.
2. Having only 2 mutual friends with this unknown person.
With so little mutual friends, if curious, I would suggest asking your mutual friends if they know the individual sending the friend request. If they don't, then consider the requester to be a random stranger.
3. Facebook profile had only 2 friends, but was following over 1,000 people, mostly women.
I have come to learn that this is very common with profiles of romance scammers. They follow lots of people who are potential clients, as many of them call their victims. Beware.
4. Unusual first name, which seemed to be misspelt, and yielded absolutely no results when Google searched.
There appeared to be no one at all with this first name. Although this was concerning and a bit of a red flag to me at the time, I moved past it, because of the unusual spelling of my own name, which is often thought to be misspelt, and I am pretty sure is unique to me. I thought of asking him about his name, but never did.
5. Younger appearance than the age he claimed to be.
Although my initial thought was that he looked years younger than me, when I was told he was 46, my age at the time, I simply told myself that he takes good care of himself, and his obvious commitment to fitness paid off well. I later learned that he was mirroring me, that is, finding out about me, then claiming to be the same, or having the same interests.
6. The use of many abbreviations when texting, for a man over the age of 40.
Lots of abbreviations are generally used by teens and young adults, usually not by older people. This stood out to me from the beginning, but I ignored it. A word of advice: do not ignore your intuition.
7. Inconsistency in some information he shared.
One example of this is, shortly after meeting in October 2021, I was told that his son is 11 years old. But 3 months later, I was told his son will be 11 on 29th of February 2022. That raised a question in my mind, however, I let it slide, as I sometimes tell people that my sons are the age they are approaching, when they are only a couple of months away from turning that age. Another example is, that I was told that there was a 7-hour difference in our time, because he was located in Djibouti. A few months later, on a few occasions that I asked him what time it was, his response was a 5-hour difference, not a 7-hour difference. I once asked him if they did daylight savings time in Djibouti, because I was a little confused, but again, I let this red flag slide. If someone gives information that is inconsistent with what they previously said, they are most likely lying, and that should not be ignored.
8. Expression of romantic love in a short period of time.
After only 2 months of correspondence, he professed love for me, sending beautiful love poems. That made me a bit uncomfortable. After all, we had not met in person, and I did not receive the video identity confirmation I had requested of him. Again, trust your intuition. If something does not seem right, do not ignore it.
9. He seemed eager for his expressions of romantic love to be reciprocated.
Why was he eager? I did not know it at the time, but I have now learned that it was a major part of the plot to defraud me. He needed to get me in a state of mind where I was emotionally bonded with him, so that my heart would be softened to his financial requests.
10. Out of all the other possible women in the world, he quickly and easily developed romantic interest in a foreigner.
This was certainly a big red flag. especially seeing that he was allegedly from a much bigger country than I am, and would therefore be exposed to many other options. This was just too good to be true. However, I was blinded by my strong attraction to him. As the saying goes, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is, so check it out closely.
11. Extreme expressions of romantic love.
One example of this is him saying to me, "I love you so much. You are the best thing that ever happened to me." It is unrealistic that someone one has never met in person is the best thing that ever happened to them after knowing that person for only 3 months. Especially someone who was previously married, has a child with their spouse, and whose marriage did not end on bad terms, but through death. Yet again, I let that red flag slide, because I was highly attracted to him. They were pure lies.
12. When requested, it took him several hours to produce a recent photo of his son.
If someone is separated from a person who they love dearly, such as a child, they would most likely have photos of that person on their phone, available in an instant.
13. His Google Hangouts photo looked like a celebrity, like a professional model.
When asked about that photo, and if he was once a model, he brushed it off, saying that the photo was when he was much younger, and that he was not a model but took some professional shots for himself. When in doubt, do a face recognition photo search on a site like pimeyes.com or socialcatfish.com.
14. He made video calling seem like a big issue, and almost impossible to do.
I made several requests for video calls, but when he finally did it, they only lasted a few seconds, as he claimed he would get into trouble if detected on a video call. Later, through my self-education process, I learned that what he did were fake video calls, using stolen videos of the man he pretended to be. I also learned from the official U.S. Army website that military officers are allowed to make video calls, contrary to what he convinced me of. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest red flags. If a person you met online has excuses about engaging in a real video call, move on, because they most likely have something to hide. Their true self. A real video call would be a 10 to 15 minute, live, interactive video chat. Both parties' camera and audio must be on, working, and clear. If a person makes excuses, refusing to do such a video chat, they are most likely a fraudster. Avoid the roller coaster of emotions, heartbreak, loss of funds, becoming entangled in possible criminal activity, such as money laundering, by insisting on a real video chat, weeding out the scammers. Accepting anything less runs the risk of being catfished, as scammers use stolen videos and artificial intelligence to manipulate video calls, tricking their victims into thinking they saw them on live video, thus believing they are authentic.
15. He asked for financial assistance.
He also asked for the money to be sent via Bitcoin. Since going through my romance scam education process, I learned that the reason for requesting Bitcoin, using a cryptocurrency app, is because the fund's transactions are untraceable to an individual. His reason for needing financial assistance was well thought out, and little did I know, was being cleverly incorporated in our daily interactions, from the beginning. After 4 months of bonding through texts and phone calls, when the crucial moment came for him to make his move, in asking me to help him out with a medical bill payment, I was emotionally seasoned, and willing to provide financial assistance for his son's medical situation. His story was well executed, that by that time, I could literally feel his anxiety. The desperate efforts of a father, thousands of miles away from his ailing son, trying to ensure that his medical treatment does not lapse, due to non-payment. As is said, over and over, on romance fraud awareness websites, and social media pages, never send money to anyone you meet online, that you have not met in person, for any reason. Also, never loan money you cannot afford to lose, to anyone.
If you have not read Ava's story, get a copy on Amazon today, by clicking on the link in the description. It is available for Kindle and Kindle app. Read it free, with Kindle Unlimited membership. If you have already read it, and identified any red flags that were not mentioned in this video, please comment them below. Be sure to share this video, to help spread awareness. It would be very much appreciated.
Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day, and remember, do not ignore red flags.